Hey guys, Adam Stern, Strat SFR, here with Tony Benj Development. Benj Development and his partners owns a site at Lake Lena, Florida in Auburndale. We're going to be talking about this site, which is it's about 100 townhome units on the southern edge of the lake. Tony, thanks for talking about this with me today.
No,
How
how
you
you
doing?
doing today?
Good. So Bench Development is a developer in Central Florida. You develop in Tampa, you develop in Orlando. You do commercial, you do residential. This is just one site you've developed the land on, and then you guys actually own, correct?
Correct.
All right. So just a little bit about the area, because let's pull up the site right here. We're talking about this swath of property that has some lakefront and some frontage to adjacent neighborhoods. What was special about this site to you? Why'd you take it on?
Well, we really like the Auburndale area right now. It's experiencing massive growth. Really, it's spurred on by three main drivers. You have what is called the SunTrax program, which is the largest autonomous driving technology center in the U.S. It's a test facility for anyone that is dealing with autonomous cars, whether it's the technology, the actual cars themselves, the manufacturers. The governor of Florida just put another $480 million into the facility as the second phase.
Mm.
It was located in close proximity to the new Polytechnic University called Florida Polytechnic that opened up about 3 years ago.
Mm.
You also have the CSX Intermodal that is going to be the largest logistics distribution center in the Southeast United States. Has now been operational for 2 years. They're now bringing in all the jobs that were supposed to come with that. A lot of logistics distribution hubs coming in there that have anything to do with the rail system. So you've got the large epicenter of job growth coming in from both the technology, logistics, and manufacturing coming in there. Coca-Cola has one of their largest bottling plants in the United States, about 3.5 miles away from the site.
Mm.
Good employment base, fast growth, but still very affordable pricing. So we love that area and that combination. This one's nestled in right along all the right retail. You've got Publix, Aldi, Walmart, everybody literally either adjacent or within half a mile of the site.
Yep.
You've got a straight shot from this community, come across US 92. You're about a 12-minute commute to the CSX Intermodal. You can be within to Tampa, Orlando, anything else because of the proximity of the parkway right there with great ease. So just the general, Polk County is experiencing massive growth. It's one of the last affordable counties in Central Florida. You've got Lakeland and the Winter Haven MSA, which is adjacent and part of the Auburndale MSA. 2 years ago was ranked one of the top job markets in the country, and they have not failed to perform. Carvana has just moved one of their massive facilities there by the CSX Intermodal. Amazon has 2 fulfillment centers going in the immediate area. It's just one project after the other, each one bringing between 700 and 1,200 jobs each.
Yep.
Great wages.
And what struck me about this site, which aside from it being nestled in here next to a Walmart supercenter, right across the street from a bunch of retail and a bunch of other restaurants, which is great because people love amenities. The story with a lot of lakes around Florida is there's a lot of kind of low cost housing in and around the lake, which for people that are making $60,000, $70,000, $80,000 a year isn't really great for that audience, right? They're looking for higher quality rentals. There's not a lot of new construction, and there's certainly not a lot of new construction rentals around here. So part of the kind of rub with this is this site, has adjacent to it some housing product, but also some mobile home product and some modular home product, which generally isn't all that attractive, but it's kind of the story here. It's the reason why there's so much opportunity to provide better quality rental housing to people that are working at these various places that you just mentioned.
Correct. I mean, one of the biggest problems with these secondary markets is capital really didn't find them. If you were saying I have a project in Orlando or Tampa, you didn't have to explain anything else. You had all the
Yep.
great economic drivers. So the middle markets really got missed during this,
Yep.
but the employment came. And so right now you're sitting with a just giant disparity of demand versus product availability.
Mhm.
There's the trailers on the waterfront, everything will soon go away. Their value is now surpassing their economic lifespan.
Yep.
Um, those things were put up back when this was the middle of nowhere. Well,
Mhm.
suddenly between the Parkway, Polk Parkway being established, US 92 being improved, people followed the transportation corridors. And so now these areas are very accessible, as the retailers and distribution guys have found. And now the housing coming in behind it. This
Mhm.
again is one of these markets that I would be loath to do a 300 unit apartment complex, but 100 townhomes I can move without any effort whatsoever, just meeting the backed up demand in the marketplace. You've got plenty of incomes to match the product you're building there, but there's very little fresh, clean, new product on the ground.
Yep.
You'll have a very large pool to pull from. Um, we don't see rentals last more than a day on the market. And
Yeah, and that's another thing. The way that rentals are handled on the local MLS is kind of hard to get a feel for the real demand because, I was talking to a leasing agent that you introduced me to, and they put basically one unit. They have a community that rents out really well. When they get a new unit up, they don't change the units on the MLS. They put the same unit up, and they keep it up there, kind of in perpetuity. And then when the unit that they want to get rented out gets rented out, they just take it off. So from a bird's eye view, it looks like there's one unit being remarketed over and over again, and it doesn't belie the fact that these various units are coming on and being essentially swooped up right away and gobbled up right away.
Yeah, it really is. There's two or three groups that you would go to for a rental in the Polk market, and
Yeah,
they do things like that almost intentionally to keep the flow coming to them to get the units that are there. Like I said, the rentals, when they come on, they last a day, maybe two at the most. So instead of just pulling their hair out with MLS changes, they just leave one up and they know who to contact.
yeah,
It really is, compared to an Orlando or Tampa, it is a far less sophisticated market with that.
mm-hmm.
However, the demand and the need for this kind of product is so overwhelming that you'll have zero trouble leasing this thing out immediately at candidly premium numbers, just because you're going to be the only game in town.
Yep. And we're talking about units that look like this. They're just run of the mill townhome units. We're talking a regional, I should really call them a national builder to build these units. And these are not unlike other units that are built on other lakes that are currently renting out extremely well. Again, with waiting list of renters looking to take them up because they're essentially some of the only newer products in and around the lakes in Central Florida. So
Exactly. In fact, the photos that you showed was from one off of Lake Ned that was 46 units.
mhm.
Before they got the first CO, they had all 46 leased and a waiting list of over 100 people.
Now say
Uh,
that again. So before they even delivered these units on this other lake, which you're looking at right now, which is analogous to what we're building here, there was a waiting list of people looking to take them.
you had all 46 committed. The day they got the CO, they were able to move in, and they had 100 people behind that on the waiting list for when became available.
Yeah,
And what they found out was nobody moved out. Once
yeah,
there's people that were there, the CO occurred, they are still there today. And that's
yeah.
been 4 to 5 years ago.
Mhm.
It's just, there's such a pent up demand for any kind of clean product. Most
Yep,
of the apartment buildings are probably 40 to 50 years old. They were a B and C product when they were built originally. You've
yep.
got people making plenty of money now that they want a nicer place, but there's just really no options. And
It's funny.
so
At the beginning of this rental SFR trend, we used to look at neighborhoods, and when we couldn't find any rentals in a neighborhood, I would point to that and say there's opportunity to provide product for a starved market. Some people would look at it and say the absence of product proves there's no demand. So, you look at this kind of thing where it's like you almost got to take all this information and I wouldn't say take a leap of faith, but understand really what's going on and look at it as because there's no product here, there's a massive opportunity. It's not the other way around, where because there's no product, there's no demand. And it's going to take the right kind of buyer with the right kind of investor to see that kind of opportunity, I think.
Right. The demand is there. We're lagging in providing the product. The main thing I would tell everybody to look at the job creation. That's going to be your answer right there. If people are earning their money and living there and working there, they want a nice place to live, and it's just not there in the marketplace. So I think the ideal opportunity to take advantage of, I'd rather be deal number one in a market that you're the belle of the ball versus the 27th deal jammed into something that I'm fighting over the scraps. And this is one of those opportunities. Again, it's at a very manageable number at 104 units that I think you'd have these leased out as soon as you could build them, and at numbers that you'd be very pleased with.
And with that, Tony, I appreciate the insight. No one knows the site better than you since you own it and you're developing it. I appreciate the time today.
Anytime. Thanks.